This is some special show today. I have two women who are part of, creators of, founders of, and directors of the Animal Communicators Collective. Some people don't understand the idea of what other people call animal psychics, who can talk about or to or from animals who are here now or have crossed over the Rainbow Bridge. Many people live for this information. They die for it. If their animals have passed away, the most thing they want to do is, how is the animal? Do they forgive me? How are things over there? Are we going to be reunited? But those are superficial. What Karen Dendy Smith and Marison Tollison do is something much deeper and professionally trained for and offered to the world. They're both going to be with their other partner, Julie Hurt, from the Communicators Collective. They're all flying in for the VIP Pooch and Pussycat party that is the send-off for the premieres of the Dog and Cat Film Festivals on October 26th. There are only 100 tickets. I've said this before, you'll see it online. 100 tickets, $100 each, 100% of it goes to Animal Lighthouse Rescue, which is the partner. These women are flying in. Karen from Massachusetts, Meredith from Mississippi, and Julie from, am I saying this right, Michigan? I'm so
Yeah.
bad on the M states. You guys are all from M states. They get confused in my mind. They're coming to support the film festival, the rescue, and to meet people in New York who might be wowed, will be wowed by what they do. They're going to do it together, the three of them on a stage. It's going to be like our very own TED Talk. But first, Karen, I'm going to start with you. Can you explain about the collective, how and why you formed it?
Sure. And thank you, Tracie, for having us. I'm so excited. And I'm so excited to see everyone in New York as well. The Animal Communication Collective is a download that I actually got from my cat who had passed away. His name is Hockey Puck. He is the reason why I even do animal communication. Yep. And he is the one who led me to the school that we all went to, the Danielle MacKinnon School. He is the one who led me to the very first seminar that I was in, where Meredith was there. And then Julie showed up at the very first live event that I was at with Danielle at Omega Institute. He is absolutely my glue to all of this. And basically, the Animal Communication Collective and the way that he shared it to me was, you need to help animals have a bigger voice. You need to all come together like a cat clouder and help people understand who we are, that we have feelings, and that we are here trying to help you. And if you help with through rescues, you're going to get to talk to more people. That's the download I got from him. And I brought that to Meredith and a bunch of my colleagues. And that's how we created the Animal Communication Collective, is we all took that seed idea and built it into this amazing group of women who all come together, and we do charity events, fundraisers online, targeting a rescue as our partner, our featured partner, and 100% of the proceeds goes to them in the evening that we do our online readings.
Because you have a podcast that's really quite a booming podcast. I can only imagine, because when Cat Chat was live on the Martha Stewart channel of Sirius for 7.5 years, once a month, the last Wednesday of the month, Anne Marie Sawicki was my animal communicator, and she would come on, and the phone banks would crash. People would start calling in an hour early, but it was all of Sirius. They didn't have that many phone lines. People were so excited about it, grateful for it, fascinated by it. Do you find that on your podcast as well, that people are knocking at the door with questions and ideas and gratitude?
I do. And Meredith, why don't you share about the podcast?
Yeah, the podcast is absolutely one of my favorite things that we do. When we were approached about pulling this together for the MindBodySpirit.fm network, Julie and Karen and I jumped at the opportunity, because you're absolutely right. People want to hear these messages from their animals. And we find that the podcast, while we don't always have live call-in opportunities, we do take listener questions. However, the three of us get together and talk about lots of different topics having to do with animal communication that people can listen to at their convenience. They can download from any of the major podcast networks, Apple, Spotify, MindBodySpirit.fm, et cetera. And we can reach so many more people at a time when it's convenient for them to listen to it, and tell them a lot of the things that they want to know about animal communication. We do take listener questions. Each of the three of us has our own individual businesses where we offer readings to clients directly. Just finding the podcast, and the three of us just getting together once a week and talking for an hour about things that we think people will be interested to hear. It's just phenomenal. The
Yeah.
energy that the three of us have together is wonderful, and I can't wait to have it in person again.
It's gonna be absolutely wonderful. And then the point is that each of you does have your own business. As Julie calls herself an intuitive, psychic, communicator, all these words mean the same thing. And to people who are either already believers, if you will, although it's not religious, or curious, you give readings remotely, which is what amazed me, because I would think, this is not to disparage at all what you do. Any place you go in the world, there's a crystal ball in the window, and usually it's an upstairs, and someone says psychic readings all over New York, all over, you mentioned it, London, anywhere in the world. And people go in, and there's a kind of, you imagine from movies, we've all seen the movies with the beaded curtain, and there's a lamp with kind of a scarf over it. And this reading person looks at your hand or into your eyes and says, I think your marriage is shaky. And you say, oh, it really is. And then they tell you a bunch of stuff about shaky marriages. And it always seems maybe there's something to it, but maybe it's the hustle. Who knows? What you guys do, you can even do remotely. And because I experienced it for almost the whole 7 years with Anne Marie, I know for a fact, as a person who's an atheist and a kind of very literal person, what I see is what I get time and again. She would tell the person something that their animal was telling them that was so specific. The person had not given any information. There was a chef at one point called in from Chicago, and something about the dog and Emery, and he didn't say he was a chef. Emery said the Buffy, whatever the dog's name was, can smell all the great smells from your restaurant. It was really quite amazing. Buffy's telling me you smell great and your pants smell great. That's why he does X, Y, or doesn't. I was like, wait a minute. This is totally real. This has solidity. This has value. Do you find, well, you of course are surrounded by like-minded people on your radio podcast and in real life. Do you find that other people are interested when you are in an elevator with them? Make pretend they say, I love your glasses, Karen. What do you do? Or something. And you say, oh, I'm an animal communicator. Do they say, what? Or do they say, you are? When can I get in touch with you? What is the general reaction?
Yes and yes. Okay. So there are some people who will, I tell them we almost, Meredith and Julie and I laugh about this. So like you can almost tell when somebody's asking you the question, you can already feel their energy and if they're going to be open or closed. And sometimes when somebody is a really close person, I intentionally amp up what I do just to watch what happens, to see if I can break through the facade.
That's
so
cool.
I've gotten both, what? Oh, okay. And then they turn their back to me. Okay, that's interesting. And they walk away. And then I have some people who just, like Meredith too, and Julie, they move in closer and you can feel the energy kind of wrap around you. And they're like, that's a thing, or oh my God, I can't believe you do that too, or I've had that experience. And we get into a much deeper conversation. So it just depends. Like everyone's an individual.
So, Meredith, in your training, you all went to a school. Like people do now know that if you're going to be an acupuncturist, you go and get acupuncture training or Chinese herb training or any kind of specific training for a skill. But explain what the training is for, and say the name of it is Soul Energy or some cool name that sounds like a rock group, but of course it's not.
It could be a rock group. That would be fun. Soul level animal communication is what all three of us are trained and certified in through the Danielle MacKinnon School. And this was something that Danielle, who's been doing this for several decades, really has solidified, has modified to be able to teach it to people. We all believe that everyone has the ability to be intuitive. But Karen, as Karen likes to say, it's like a muscle. The more you work it, the stronger it gets. If I know I have abdominal muscles because I don't fall over every day, but I can't sit here and do 50 sit-ups. But if I worked those muscles, I could. So we all went through a very intensive training. What was it, Karen? About a year, start to finish?
About a year, yeah.
We've done so many courses through the school in soul level intuitive coaching and other things as well. And I've all taught as TAs in the school. I forget the time frame. It feels like I've been doing this for 15 minutes. It feels like I've been doing this forever.
Nice.
But yeah, it's very intensive levels from um, starting out just developing our intuitive skills and learning to trust and believe those things, all the way through business training and building a website and designing logos and doing many practice sessions with actual people as clients, to and having to do feedback calls with somebody listening in to determine if we've got all of the steps down the way that we were trained to do them. And then we each went into our own individual business and kept it up.
Okay, so let's say I say, wow, this really sounds great. I'm 20 something years old or 30 something. It doesn't matter. It could be any
Or
age.
50 something.
50 something is always a good thing. I'm embracing the 70s, but that's another story. So I say, oh, I'd love to do that. I look up this school and I go, and it turns out I have a broken intuitive muscle. I just don't, we know there are people who are more sensitive than others, and it's not that they stopped being a certain way when they were young. And now that we know about the spectrum, right? So we know about neurodiversity, we know about the spectrum. People really are wired differently. So even though everybody has an ability to feel more than we probably let ourselves, because feelings can be scary, and input, like ESP, if you will, is to many of us like, ooh, I thought of that right before it happened, or while you were saying it, or this is people get frightened by it because they can't control it, they don't understand it. Are there people in your experience, both as students and now teachers, as well as providers of the service, if you want to call it that, are there people who simply can't come there, can't be there? I don't know if it's the same people who couldn't be hypnotized, but are there people that are either that they're just not wired for it? Is that possible?
I'm going to say no,
You
but with a caveat. Every soul here on the planet has a journey, right? We all, if we're following the light in our hearts, then if we're supposed to be able to do something like this professionally, and we are open to trusting and having faith in ourselves, we will eventually get here. But everyone has intuition in their makeup. Everyone has a third eye, a pineal gland, a nervous system. We all have the operating tools to, it's how we learn to settle into using them and understanding how ours works. So
no.
through what I love about the school is that it doesn't matter if you want to become a professional or not. The beginning classes are for fun. They're for you to understand a little bit more who you are as an intuitive, how your apparatus works, so that you can have a little more faith in yourself around how you're operating in the world. And everyone gets there.
Interesting.
Everyone gets there in some way. They open up their intuition more in some way. They understand more about themselves because that's what the animals are here to do, to help us get more clarity and presence around who we actually are, like they do. So, yes, I've never seen someone go through the school and say, I didn't expand my intuition. Nothing happened for me. Everyone has an experience of getting more in touch with their own intuitive gear, I'll say.
Interesting. So not everybody there wants to be a
No,
practicing intuitive. They're there to
no.
learn about it.
Mhm.
It's like a boot camp for
Yeah.
intuition.
It's a fun community boot camp because there's a whole community too. So you practice with your friends, you get meet new friends. There's all kinds of classes and extra talks going on that you can just join and be a part of and learn more from. It's really cool.
It sounds really cool. One of the things that Anne Marie and a couple of other people who have been on my shows over the years who've written books about these topics have said is that children in particular, and I wonder if you both individually think this, are open, very open intuitively, and they're taught very young in most cultures, maybe not in cultures in New Zealand, a tribe or something, but they're taught, oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
Know
true.
what the hamster said. You don't know what that bird in the tree is feeling or thinking. But as a child, you're open to it and they go, oh, that you just have a very vivid imagination. Do you both, and I'll let Meredith go first, think that is something that is shut off by Western society?
I absolutely do. And we discuss that a lot within our community and within, as you said, the bands of like-minded people, because I believe our energy all connects us together. We're drawn to each other for a reason. But we all discuss a lot that as children, we were all highly sensitive. And the majority of us would tell you that, yeah, the world got to us and told us, you feel too much, you're too emotional, you're why are you playing with the worms? No, you don't know what the worms are saying to you. Any of those things. And I believe that all sorts of intuitives would say the same thing. The world gets to us when we start socializing, getting into school, getting into all of those things, and shuts down a lot of that sensitivity. And I can say personally that getting into this work, into this school, really reopened me as an older adult. I was in my 40s, 50s when I went back to start doing this. And it's a reunion with myself, with those parts of me that, yeah, society sort of shuts down because it's a bit unusual. But I think we all have it. I think all children are that open in some form or fashion until the world gets to them at that very young age.
Karen, do you ever have either clients or group things that you do where you try to encourage people to not shut down their children, or is that beyond your area of interest?
No, actually, it happens naturally though. Actually, a couple of things. I work with people. The way I opened back my intuition was studying qigong, a Chinese meditation called Pangu Shengong, and that started 25 years ago. And that by doing that practice, it's a very spiritual practice, not religious,
Oh,
spiritual. And it really called in all this energy that really rebalanced a lot of the things that I'd shut down physically. And I started actually, and foremost, hearing from people who were crossed over.
you did.
Yep. The first, oh my God, blow me away experiences. I had gone to a wake with my husband for a friend of ours that had passed away, and I was in line just going in the door of the funeral home, and I could hear him greeting everyone at the door. And
Wow.
and when I went up to the line to get in line to be received by the family, I ended up in front of someone who had my same name and was his best friend from when he was in third grade, and all the heat surrounding us so that I would talk to her. I could hear him saying, talk, you have this in common, talk to each other, talk to each other. And we found out how we were connected. That was quite an eye-opening experience. And that just sent me into more deeper practice and realizing that this was a real thing again.
Interesting. And clearly started with humans.
It started with humans for me, but as I did the Qigong work with the humans, back before Zoom was a big thing, before the pandemic and earlier in 2010, that area of time, as soon as I would go to someone's house to help them, if they had an animal, the animal came around and would sit between us or sit next to me, and I could just feel their desires to support their person, but also to receive some support themselves. And that was like an aha moment for me as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So I think you guys said you would give me a little reading because it's going to be chaotic at the party. We could
Yes.
do it or a different one at the party. Okay. So I have something that my young Wisla, 14-month-old Skye, has happened when we've gone into a particular field, and he becomes terrified, running as if away from something, even fearful of me. It's the only
Okay.
place it's ever happened. What would you need to ask me for you to try and hear from Skye what it is about that place? I've talked to my vet, who's my friend. We play around with our dogs, and she said maybe there's a noise we can't hear. Maybe something startled him and it's his memory of it, but
Okay. So let's just connect in with Skye. And I want to reword the questions. We want to ask Skye and it's a very particular field or park that you go to? Okay.
yes.
So Meredith, what if we ask him and Tracie, just for Skye, one, just give me a quick little bit about who you are to introduce yourself out of respect. And then tell us a little bit about what's happening for you in the field where you run away.
So who I am, like who's Tracie Hotchner?
No, who's Skye? We
Oh,
want
who's
Skye to tell
Skye?
us who
We're
Skye
talking
is.
Skye. I'm
We're
such
talking to Skye.
realize that. Okay.
Yeah.
Skye is a 14-month
No,
old.
don't you tell us. No, we're going to ask Skye this.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
Don't tell us
What the
anything.
hell?
We're going to invite Skye to share who he is from his perspective, and then ask him about the field that he runs that makes him run away.
Okay.
Okay. So give us 1 second. We're going to invite in Skye. Just put him in your heart for a second too. Take a deeper breath yourself so he knows that we're all in this together. Just right away, I said hi to Skye, and I just said, Mom wants to ask you a quick question, and we're here to help. And how are you? And immediately I just saw such a happy dog in general.
Yes.
And he also showed me the side of his body. And when they showed me the side of their body, a lot of times it's because they think that they're very beautiful. And so he's telling me that he's showing me like his coat, his
Yeah.
how beautiful he is, and also how bouncy he is.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's
that's immediately this is his way of saying hello to me. So Meredith, what are you getting about him?
I got two visuals immediately. And the first, I love that you say bouncy because I'm picturing a field. I'm picturing a field of tall grass and I can't see him. And then all of a sudden, boing, he bounces up above the grass. And it's like, here I am. I'm here. I'm here. Now you can't see me. Now I'm here. The second visual I get is it's a clock. It's a cat and the tail goes back
yes.
and forth and the eyeballs go back and forth.
Yep.
So he's showing me that clock and he's showing me his eyeballs scanning everything and saying, yes, I'm happy, but I'm also very alert and aware. And I'm watching my surroundings constantly. I'm observing everything back and forth and back and forth. And he's leading me into a feeling about this particular field that I want to sit with for just a second, Karen, if you want to go ahead.
Okay. So so far, is this making sense, Tracie,
Well,
about
I
him?
mean, we call him Mr. Jumperson. And
Okay.
in fact, in this field, when the grass is high, he does, in fact, emerge leaping above it in huge bounds. Yeah, he is gorgeous. And though I don't think he's vain, we
No.
tell him all that every day, many times, you are so beautiful
So
because
it's sinking in, Mom.
it is sinking in. I don't want
Okay.
a
No,
swell.
no, dogs aren't vain. They don't have that kind of ego. He just really loves and appreciates who he is,
Yes,
which we
yes,
can translate as vanity, but it's not. It's just totally embodying who he is and just loving who he is as Skye.
he does.
Yeah. So the next thing he's telling me about his food a little bit, and that he likes to eat the meat and that he gets a little hungry sometimes and he doesn't like waiting for mealtime. There's a couple of things like that around meals that he just had to insert for you there before we get into the field.
Oh, okay. I just have to say, at some point we'll run out of time, but this is so amazing. He is a very picky eater, and when he wants to eat, he likes to, and he tells you, makes little cry noises, or goes over in the corner where the food dishes are
Mm-hmm.
parked. But sometimes he goes, I don't want the kibble. He won't eat.
No,
Just give him the meat.
yeah,
Or more, which is frozen human stuff or organic stuff from a can. And he just wants the meat
yeah,
sometimes.
yeah. He knows what's best for him. That's all I'm going to say right now, but we can chat more about that later. So I'm going to ask him, so tell us more about the field that makes you run. What's happening from your perspective, Skye, when you're in the field and all of a sudden you feel you need to run?
I'm going to jump right in there
Interesting.
because
Okay, go ahead.
it's showing me a lot about the field. And I was seeing that very tall grass
Mhm.
and the boing boing above the grass. But what I'm getting from him is he just doesn't know what's going on under there. I'm getting critters. I'm getting small moving creatures, rodents, and it makes him very nervous. He doesn't necessarily want to hunt them or harm them, but he hears the rustling and could be even moles or groundhogs or something underground, but it definitely feels very much in the rodent part of the world. And it's scritchy, scratchy, and he hears the sounds and he feels the sensations under him, but he can't see them. And aren't Vizsla sight hounds?
They're sight hounds and they're bird dogs.
Mhm.
So
So
the
he
Weimaraner, who's his sister, digs like mad and looks for
Right.
the, but he's not a digger. And now the grass is cut. And maybe the fact that it's more nude now is more alarming to him. Because of course they could be squeaking or rustling or digging. He rarely joins her when she's digging a hole. He's interested in what she's doing, but it's not his jam at all.
the part he's showing me is the tall grass part. And
Okay.
I'm hearing a frustration of I can't do what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to be able to see and I can't see. And this just makes me nervous. And then shows me those eyeballs going back and forth, scanning to see if he can figure out what it is he's supposed to be seeing. He
Okay.
sort of feels like he's not living up to
Mhm.
the expectation
Okay.
of what
Being
his job should be.
And this is so frustrating because I know Karen, I could see that because now that we have Zoom and YouTube and everything, I can see she got some more information from him. We're going to have to keep everybody on pins and needles because we've run out of time. So if you want to meet these amazing women and their colleague, Julie Hurt, and talk to them like this and be wowed and amazed as everybody's mouth hangs open, it's a really amazing experience. We have many other incredible things at the party. We have two sisters who do pet portraits on the fly. We have raffles and some extra tickets for the dog and cat film festivals. All the women are going to come to the festivals as well, but you're not allowed to like corner them in the ladies' room. You'll have to talk to them privately. You guys are amazing. Karen, you can tell me off the show what that last little message was from Skye. It's all on the money. It's really good stuff. It's so thrilling. Thank you for what you do, for being here, for coming to the party, going through all that trouble and time and expense. We're really going to celebrate you when you get there. Thank you both so much.
Thank you, Tracie.
Thank you, Tracie.